announced that Caitlin Clark will join their coverage for Sunday Night Basketball beginning this weekend for the Lakers versus the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. This is the WNBA superstar's debut as an NBA analyst, and NBC has absolutely been killing it. First they had MJ, which, by the way, that deal was insane. He got paid $40 million, and I literally think he sat down for...
This is what happened recently that has everyone talking. Aliyah Boston witnessed Caitlin Clark earn that amazing job as an NBC commentator, and her response is making waves for all the right reasons. Aliyah offered the kind of sincere support that demonstrates what true teammates do, while the majority of WNBA veterans either remained silent or made veiled jabs about Caitlin's most recent victory. More about the Indiana Fever's development may be learned from her little two-word response than from any in-depth interview. Is Aliyah Boston's support for Caitlin evidence that the Fever have assembled the best star team in the WNBA, or are we overanalyzing what was really a brief social media moment? When Aliyah Boston received wind that Caitlin Clark was joining NBC Sports as their special contributor for Basketball Night in America, she didn't hesitate for a second. She posted this on Instagram right away. Forget about it. Yes, babe. Forget about it. That's all. An emoji and 2 basic words. But when you consider how other WNBA players have been handling Caitlin's sudden ascension, those 2 words carry considerable weight. They emanate pure excitement, real authenticity, and absolutely little sign of jealousy in a league where seasoned players have spent the last 2 years striving to downplay Caitlin's impact. Aliyah's reaction seems like a breath of fresh air.
Thoughts on your teammate joining you as a colleague at NBC?
Oh, I know. I'm super excited. I think that's awesome. I think Caitlin's going to do a great job. She's awesome at everything she does, and so this is going to be...
Let's examine what makes this particular time so important. Caitlin has secured what might be the most coveted broadcasting gig in women's basketball history. She's entering into NBA coverage among absolute legends like Carmelo Anthony, Tracy McGrady, and Vince Carter, with Maria Taylor running the show. She will make her debut on February 1st at Madison Square Garden during the Lakers vs. Knicks game. On March 29th, she will make another appearance at the Thunder vs. Knicks game. This is NBC's premier basketball broadcast, and they specifically wanted Caitlin to be part of their lineup. For any athlete, especially one who continues to compete at the top level, that is enormous. The timing of everything is what gives Aliyah's support even more strength. The Indiana Fever had a terrible season in 2025. Due to a number of ailments, including a persistent right groin problem that kept her out of action for the second part of the season, Caitlin was only able to play in 13 games. 3 more important players, including Sophie Cunningham, suffered season-ending injuries. Aliyah suddenly found herself bearing considerably more weight than anyone anticipated. And she absolutely delivered when it counted most. She participated in all 44 of the regular season's games, scoring 15 points on an amazing 53.8% shooting percentage, collecting 8.2 rebounds, handing out 3.7 assists, and stealing 1.2 points per contest. She was selected as an All-Star for the 3rd time in a row. That's the backdrop for Aliyah's incredible support. Because her great teammate was confined to the sidelines, she had to absolutely step up her game. She might have grown resentful at having to support the entire squad while Caitlin was healing. It's possible that she was envious of Caitlin for securing these significant broadcasting jobs in the off-season. While Aliyah is just one of only 3 Fever players locked up for 2026, but instead she's absolutely happy about her teammates' breakthrough moment. That's exactly what genuine leadership and friendship genuinely look like.
So crazy that it feels like every other sport will just come out and say what it is besides the WNBA. The NBA is not scared to acknowledge that there's no more iconic figure in basketball. Not just the women's game, but possibly the game in general than Caitlin Clark. But we would not hear that in the WNBA space. We wouldn't hear that from WNBA media, but the NBA media and the NBA and the league itself is not scared to say it. Like we've seen it when Caitlin does golf events. It just seems like every league but her own is not scared to say that.
The difference between this and how other WNBA veterans have handled Caitlin's accomplishments is quite striking. Regarding the NBC statement, the majority have remained utterly mute. Some have hinted in a passive-aggressive manner that some athletes are receiving opportunities that they haven't deserved. Others have continued to try to downplay Caitlin's accomplishments. That gloomy trend is totally broken by Aliyah's fervent jubilation. She's not intimidated or threatened by Caitlin's success. She's openly celebrating it and lifting her partner up.
What was it like for you this past season in certain situations and circumstances to be the one offering advice and offering comfort versus the one receiving it? Because, the previous year you were the rookie, right? How was that role different for you, and how comfortable were you taking that on?
I think, the only difference really is that I was doing it in the league. This time, I feel like I've always been someone that kind of gives advice and kind of gives my 2 cents especially when it comes to basketball, just because obviously the way I see the game. And so for me this year, especially having Caitlin being a rookie, like I obviously just being a rookie the year before and knowing exactly what's going to come, whether it's the refs, whether it's social media. But I think also Caitlin handles that like a champ. Like she knows exactly what it's going to be, but she also knows that she has a big name, and Caitlin Clark is a huge name that people want to come on. They want to say what they think. They want to, what she should do, what this should happen. But I think when you look at it, Caitlin's just a competitor, right? And so for me, it made it easy because the advice I gave was just, okay, girl, I'll be my little short roll. If that's what you need, don't worry about the refs because they're not going to give you any calls because that's exactly what they do to rookies. And especially her being the player that she is, like they essentially want to see, oh, well, can you handle yourself on this league? But I think as the season went on, like you saw Caitlin, she handled that like a champ. And I think she handled it from the very first game. Is that her thing is she's here to compete. She's here to win. And it's
Aliyah Boston's genuine celebration of Caitlin's accomplishment rather than her resentment just demonstrated what true teammates look like. With two superstars who genuinely encourage each other's success, the Fever are creating something genuinely unique. Click like and subscribe if you enjoy watching professionalism triumph against jealousy in the WNBA. Drop a comment about the Fever's championship potential with this great duo. I appreciate you watching. This surely isn't the first time Aliyah has displayed this level of character in class. Aliyah remained encouraging throughout Caitlin's debut season, despite veterans frequently complaining about the attention she was drawing to the league and giving her unnecessary fouls. She refused to get caught up in the petty jealousy game. She never made snarky comments about Caitlin hogging the spotlight or stealing thunder. She only concentrated on playing basketball at the greatest level, developing their team bonding on the court, and assisting in the transformation of the Fever into a truly superior company. The same level of professionalism persisted throughout the difficult 2025 season and is still evident now. Aliyah and Caitlin's relationship exemplifies what a fruitful collaboration in professional sports ought to look like. When they are together on the court, they are a wonderful match. Aliyah's strong interior presence and adaptable defensive abilities paired with Caitlin's amazing playmaking ability and lethal shooting range. They continually lift each other up when they're away from the court, Aliyah recognizing Caitlin's major achievements. Both players remain totally dedicated to the long-term prosperity of the Fever. Instead of the poisonous jealousy and animosity we've seen from so many WNBA veterans directed toward Caitlin, this is precisely how elite players should relate with one another. Aliyah's response further demonstrates her genuine comprehension of how Caitlin's success helps the entire company. When Caitlin lands a large NBC deal like this, it automatically enhances the profile of the entire Indiana Fever brand. Throughout the offseason, it keeps the team in the news. It greatly increases the Fever's appeal to prospective free agents. It raises the whole worth of having any kind of affiliation with the company. Aliyah completely gets that concept. She's not looking at Caitlin's success as something that somehow undermines her own future chances. She's realizing that it actually gives everyone involved even more chances. In professional sports, this kind of mentality is precisely what distinguishes winners from losers. Because they recognize that rising tides raise all boats, winners really applaud their teammates' significant accomplishments. Because they view everything through the lens of zero-sum competition, losers grow resentful of their teammates' accomplishments. Without a doubt, Aliyah is in the winner category. She carried a heavy workload for a squad plagued by injuries and produced an all-star season. She is still genuinely thrilled about Caitlin's off-season broadcasting breakthrough. That's exactly the mentality that builds championship-level cultures. The reality that only 3 Fever players are now locked up for 2026 contracts, Caitlin, Aliyah, and one other player, makes this dynamic incredibly critical moving ahead. These two superstars are essentially the center of the Fever's roster reconstruction. If they had created the kind of toxic connection we've seen between Caitlin and different jealous veterans throughout the league, the chemistry and sincere support between them would undoubtedly determine this franchise's trajectory. The Fever would be facing serious trouble. Instead, they have 2 legitimate stars who authentically support each other's success, which creates the perfect basis for building something genuinely exceptional. Caitlin's statement regarding the NBC opportunity reflects similar class and professionalism. Being a member of the Basketball Night in America team this season excites me greatly. Maria is a real pro, and Carmelo, Vince, and Tracy are game legends. It will be incredibly nice to join them a few times this season. She's keeping humble, showing appreciation, and focused on the great opportunity to learn directly from legends. Aliyah has continuously demonstrated the same level of professionalism in helping her teammates succeed. The 2025 season put the Fever to the test in ways that no one anticipated. Losing your best player for half the season, coping with multiple more season-ending injuries, relying solely on your second superstar to carry a tremendous load. Those are settings that could easily produce significant anger and organizational division. Rather, the Fever overcame that hardship with their two stars still sincerely encouraging one another's achievements. That says a lot about the players' personalities as well as the culture this company is actively fostering. Additionally, Aliyah's remark subtly criticizes all of the envious veterans who have been actively attempting to undermine Caitlyn for the past 2 years. Aliyah is demonstrating to those veterans the proper conduct of true professionals by fervently applauding Caitlyn's accomplishment. She is proving that it is possible to be a superstar and yet help your colleagues achieve significant success. She is demonstrating that the only people who are seriously anxious about their own standing and legacy are not threatened by Caitlyn's accomplishments. The timing of this NBC deal during the WNBA's entire CBA negotiation upheaval makes Aliyah's support even more memorable and significant. Caitlyn is gaining amazing opportunities that truly elevate women's basketball, while veterans are making absolutely unreasonable salary demands and waving inflatable rats outside league offices. While Caitlyn is developing her personal brand alongside NBA superstars, union leaders with blatant conflicts of interest are ruining negotiations. The disparity is absolutely embarrassing for those veterans, and Aliyah supporting Caitlyn essentially chooses professionalism over pettiness. Aliyah's tweet has received tremendously favorable and encouraging responses on social media. Fans actually appreciate seeing authentic solidarity between teammates instead of the nasty jealousy that's utterly dominated WNBA narratives around Caitlyn. Aliyah was commended in comments for being a true teammate and friend. The deafening silence from veterans, who ought to be applauding any WNBA player earning such a coveted post, was juxtaposed with her fervent support. The response demonstrates how eager fans are for healthy relationships in women's basketball as opposed to ongoing conflict and animosity.